Intersectionality, it's such a stark reality for a lot of people I know who are aging, which can be a challenge. But when you layer on top of that, having been LGBT for a lot of years, there's a lesbian couple that I know who avoided getting married for a very, very long time. And because of that, they're like in their 90s now. And they're running up against all sorts of problems that have to do with all of the sudden they need to, more or less come out about, oh no, this isn't just my friend that I lived with, this is and fill out all those forms and things. And they had many, many years where they didn't do that because they were both professional people and very, very afraid of losing jobs and things like that. And Jan and I have faced something similar to that too, because we lived in separate subsidized housing for a lot of years after Jan left Ecology House where we met. She moved up here to Novato. I didn't immediately move in with her because she had a Section 8 certificate. And, if I had moved in with her and she were to die as someone who was not her legal kin, I wouldn't have been able to inherit that certificate. I wouldn't be able to, and if she had moved in or had stayed at Ecology House and we had moved into the same apartment, same thing would have obtained. So, it's very, very hard on people who have multiple layers of things, age, disability. It's only just recently that we've changed the rules around disability and SSI and things so that people can get SSI and get Medicaid coverage and have a decent amount of assets. It used to be that if you had more than, I think it was $3,000 in assets, you could not qualify for SSI, which meant that you couldn't get Medi-Cal, which meant, for someone who was disabled, you had to keep yourself that poor. You could have a home that you owned. But, that works real well if you own the home and then you become disabled. But if you're only allowed $3,000 in assets and poverty wages, you're never going to, have the assets to own a home. They're changing some of those things now. But again, for older folks who lived under the older rules, a lot of us have been forced to be in poverty for a lot of years and, dependent on government programs in a way that, frankly, a lot of us wouldn't have wanted to be. I mean, before I became disabled. But, I think a lot more people would be out there in the workforce participating, would be being entrepreneurial, would be doing all sorts of things if we didn't force disabled people and their caregivers sometimes into poverty as the price of continuing to have medical, coverage or housing or whatever. It's just sort of backwards and upside down to me. That again, it's more like you're writing people off rather than inviting them to be part of the culture and be part of the economy. I want us to be part of the economy and the culture. I want us to be vibrantly participating in all of that. And it all starts just with the mindset of, no, this is not somebody to write off and just push away somewhere out of sight. Include us and be surprised at what we can do, because we will surprise you, honest.